Thomas Sankara's 48 Laws of Revolutionary Power. Introduction. In the annals of African history, few leaders have left as profound a legacy as Thomas Sankara. As the president of Burkina Faso from 1983 to 1987, Sankara transformed his nation with revolutionary ideas and bold policies that continue to inspire movements for social justice, anti-imperialism, and self-reliance. This book distills his principles into 48 laws that offer timeless lessons for those seeking to wield power with integrity, vision, and resilience. 1. Reclaim your sovereignty. Law. True power begins with self-mastery. Only when you break free from external influences can you fully control your destiny. Strategy. Never allow foreign powers to dictate your actions. Depend on no one for your survival. Sankara's lesson: he who feeds you, controls you. Sankara severed Burkina Faso's dependence on foreign aid, choosing self-reliance over subjugation. In doing so, he laid the foundation for genuine sovereignty. 2. Reject the chains of debt. Law. Debt is the modern yoke of slavery. To be truly free, you must refuse to be bound by the debts of your oppressors. Strategy. Unite with others to repudiate unjust debts that threaten your freedom and future. Sankara's lesson: at the 1987 Organization of African Unity, Sankara called on African nations to collectively refuse repayment of colonial debts, branding them as instruments of neo-colonial control. 3. Cultivate self-reliance. Law. Those who control their own resources control their destiny. Build your independence by cultivating your own means of survival. Strategy. Develop local resources and talents. Never rely on external supplies that can be cut off. Sankara's lesson: Sankara's focus on agricultural self-sufficiency turned Burkina Faso from a nation dependent on imported food to one capable of feeding itself. 4. Protect the environment as a strategic asset. Law. The earth is your fortress. Defend it, and it will defend you. A thriving environment is the foundation of long-lasting power. Strategy. Engage in sustainable practices that ensure the health and longevity of your land. Sankara's lesson: Sankara launched an ambitious reforestation campaign, planting over 10 million trees to combat desertification and secure the future of his people. 5. Empower the marginalized. Law. The strength of your power is measured by the strength of the weakest among you. Uplift the marginalized, and you will create an unbreakable force. Strategy. Integrate the disenfranchised into your vision. Their empowerment will multiply your power. Sankara's lesson: by championing women's rights, banning practices like female genital mutilation, and promoting women in government, Sankara doubled the revolutionary power of his movement. 6. Discipline is the backbone of leadership. Law. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Without it, power crumbles into chaos. Strategy. Lead by example. Let your disciplined life be the model for others to follow. Sankara's lesson: Sankara lived modestly, reduced government salaries, and avoided luxury, demonstrating the discipline required to lead a successful revolution. 7. Refuse to be a puppet of the powerful. Law. Those who pull your strings will ultimately control your fate. Cut the strings of those who seek to manipulate you. Strategy. Maintain your independence at all costs. Resist any influence that seeks to control your actions. Sankara's lesson: Sankara rejected the influence of former colonial powers, refusing aid that would compromise Burkina Faso's autonomy and charting an independent path for his nation. 8. Promote education and health as foundations of power. Law. Knowledge and health are the twin pillars of enduring power. Invest in them to build a strong, resilient society. Strategy. Make education and healthcare your top priorities. They are the bedrock of a powerful nation. Sankara's lesson: Sankara's nationwide literacy and vaccination campaigns dramatically improved public health and education, creating a stronger, more self-sufficient nation. 9. Practice humility in power. Law. Power should be worn lightly. Arrogance will be your downfall. Humility is the key to enduring respect and loyalty. Strategy. Live simply, avoid the trappings of power, and always remain connected to the people you lead. Sankara's lesson: Sankara famously traded the government's fleet of luxury cars for modest Renault 5s and refused to indulge in the excesses of power, embodying the humility he preached. 10. Embrace collective action. Law. True power is not in the hands of one, but in the unity of many. Harness the collective strength of the people. Strategy: create structures that enable mass participation and ensure that your vision becomes a shared mission. Sankara's lesson: Sankara established committees for the defense of the revolution, CDRs, empowering ordinary citizens to participate in governance and making the revolution a movement of the people.
Decentralize power to strengthen it. Law: power that is spread out is harder to destroy. Decentralize your power to make it resilient and enduring. Strategy: distribute authority to local leaders and communities. Empower them to take ownership of your shared goals. Sankara's lesson: by decentralizing power through the CDRs, Sankara ensured that governance was participatory, making his revolution resilient against internal and external threats. 12. Break the shackles of cultural imperialism. Law: cultural independence is as crucial as political independence. Embrace your heritage, and reject the cultural dominance of others. Strategy: elevate your own cultural identity. Make it a source of strength and pride. Sankara's lesson: Sankara promoted traditional African clothing and values, encouraging his people to take pride in their culture and reject Western cultural imperialism. 13. Lead by example. Law: the most powerful way to lead is by example. Become the embodiment of the ideals you champion. Strategy: align your actions with your principles. Be the living example of your vision. Sankara's lesson: Sankara's simple lifestyle, relentless work ethic, and personal sacrifices inspired others to follow him, making his leadership all the more powerful. 14. Challenge the status quo. Law: to create something new, you must first dismantle the old. Do not fear challenging the established order. Strategy: identify the entrenched interests that oppose change and confront them boldly. Sankara's lesson: Sankara's policies radically transformed Burkina Faso, challenging entrenched elites and global powers who were invested in maintaining the status quo. 15. Invest in agriculture as the lifeblood of the nation. Law: control the food supply, and you control the nation. Agriculture is the bedrock of any stable society. Strategy: focus on agricultural development and land reform to ensure food security and independence. Sankara's lesson: Sankara's land redistribution policies and agricultural initiatives led to Burkina Faso achieving food self-sufficiency, making the nation stronger and more independent. 16. Practice transparency and accountability. Law: power thrives on trust, and trust is built through transparency and accountability. Strategy: be open about your actions and decisions. Hold yourself and others accountable. Sankara's lesson: Sankara required all government officials, including himself, to publicly declare their assets, setting a high standard for honesty and transparency in governance. 17. Unify under a common vision. Law: a clear, compelling vision unites people and gives them a shared purpose. Strategy: articulate a vision that resonates with your people. Make it the cornerstone of your leadership. Sankara's lesson: renaming the country Burkina Faso, meaning land of incorruptible people, Sankara unified the nation under a shared identity and mission, fostering national pride and solidarity. 18. Harness the power of women. Law: empowering women is not just a moral imperative. It is a strategic one. Women are essential to any successful movement. Strategy: actively promote gender equality and integrate women into every aspect of your vision. Sankara's lesson: Sankara appointed women to key government positions and integrated women's rights into the core of his policies, understanding that true power could only be achieved with the full participation of all. 19. Resist the temptation of corruption. Law: corruption is a cancer that eats away at power. Keep your hands clean, or risk losing everything. Strategy: root out corruption at all levels and maintain the highest ethical standards in your leadership. Sankara's lesson: Sankara led an anti-corruption campaign that reduced officials' salaries, enforced transparency, and set a new standard for governance in Africa. 20. Balance ideals with practicality. Law: ideals are essential, but without practical steps, they are meaningless. Ground your vision in reality to achieve lasting success. Strategy: focus on achievable outcomes that advance your ideals in a tangible way. Sankara's lesson: Sankara combined his revolutionary ideals with practical policies like building schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, ensuring that his vision translated into real improvements in people's lives. 21. Cultivate a fearless spirit. Law: to be powerful, you must be fearless. Confront challenges head-on, and never shy away from speaking truth to power. Strategy: stand firm in your convictions, even when it isolates you or puts you at risk. Sankara's lesson. Sankara fearlessly criticized neo-colonialism and the complicity of African leaders, earning him many enemies but solidifying his status as a leader who would not be silenced. 22. Prioritize collective well-being over individual gain. Law: power that serves only the self is fleeting. Prioritize the common good to build a lasting legacy. Strategy: implement policies that redistribute wealth and resources to benefit the many, not the few. Sankara's lesson. Sankara nationalized key industries and redistributed land, ensuring that the wealth of the nation served all its people, not just a privileged few. 23. Establish local industry. Law: economic independence is the foundation of political independence. Develop local industries to free yourself from external dependencies. Strategy: promote and support the growth of local industries that produce essential goods. Sankara's lesson. Sankara encouraged the development of local industries like textiles, reducing Burkina Faso's reliance on imports and fostering economic independence. 24. Redistribute power and resources. Law: concentrated power and wealth breed inequality and resentment. Spread both to create a more stable and just society. Strategy: implement policies that ensure an equitable distribution of resources and power. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's land reforms redistributed land from wealthy landowners to peasants, empowering the rural population and promoting social justice. 25. Resist external manipulation. Law: the powerful will always seek to control you from afar. Stay vigilant and protect your autonomy. Strategy: defend your sovereignty against foreign interference and manipulation. Sankara's lesson. Sankara was critical of Western powers and international financial institutions, advocating for African unity to resist neo-colonial influence and control. 26. Promote cultural pride. Law: cultural identity is a source of strength and unity. Embrace and elevate your heritage. Strategy: encourage the celebration and preservation of your cultural traditions and values. Sankara's lesson. Sankara promoted traditional African clothing and values, urging Burkina people to embrace their cultural identity and resist the influence of foreign cultures. 27. Elevate the power of the youth. Law: the youth are the torch-bearers of your legacy. Invest in them, and they will carry your vision forward. Strategy: focus on education, employment, and civic engagement for the youth to prepare them as the next generation of leaders. Sankara's lesson. Sankara prioritized youth programs, launching literacy campaigns and encouraging young people to take active roles in the revolution. 28. Stay grounded in reality. Law: power is built on a foundation of realistic goals and strategies. Grand visions are important, but they must be anchored in what is possible. Strategy: align your vision with the realities of your situation, setting achievable goals that move you steadily toward your ultimate aim. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's focus on practical outcomes, such as achieving food self-sufficiency and improving public health, demonstrated his ability to ground his ideals in reality. 29. Reject the idolization of power. Law: power should be wielded with humility and restraint. Avoid the cult of personality that often surrounds leaders. Strategy: keep the focus on the movement and its goals, rather than on yourself as a leader. Sankara's lesson. Sankara resisted the idolization that often accompanies leadership, insisting that the revolution was about the people, not about glorifying any individual, including himself. 30. Use repression as a last resort. Law: repression can maintain order, but it also breeds resentment. Use it sparingly, and only when absolutely necessary. Strategy: win hearts and minds through persuasion and example. Reserve force for when all else fails. Sankara's lesson. While Sankara maintained strong control, he preferred to mobilize the population through education and inspiration, Using force only when absolutely necessary. 31. Focus on long-term vision over short-term gains. Law, power that endures is built on long-term planning. Do not sacrifice the future for immediate victories. Strategy, make decisions with the long-term impact in mind, even if it means foregoing short-term benefits. Sankara's lesson, Sankara's focus on sustainable development, such as investing in agriculture and education, was aimed at securing Burkina Faso's long-term prosperity and independence. 32. Cultivate strategic alliances. Law, no power stands alone. Build alliances with those who share your vision to amplify your strength. Strategy, identify allies who can support your goals and work together to achieve common objectives. Sankara's lesson, Sankara sought to build solidarity with other African nations and liberation movements around the world, recognizing the power of unity in the face of common challenges. 33. Promote simple living. Law, extravagance alienates the masses and invites envy. Embrace simplicity as a reflection of your values. Strategy, live modestly and encourage others to do the same. Let your lifestyle reflect the principles you espouse. Sankara's lesson, Sankara's simple lifestyle, including wearing locally made clothes and living in a modest house, reinforced his message of solidarity and humility. 34. Encourage self-critique and growth. Law, power that does not evolve is destined to decay. Constantly evaluate your actions and be willing to change course when necessary. Strategy, create a culture of self-critique and continuous improvement, both for yourself and those around you. Sankara's lesson, Sankara encouraged his government and the people to regularly assess their actions and policies, making necessary adjustments to stay true to the revolution's ideals. 35. Reject empty rituals and formalities. Law, focus on substance, not form. Rituals and formalities can distract from real progress. Strategy, cut through unnecessary procedures and focus on what truly matters, getting results. Sankara's lesson, Sankara was known for his pragmatic approach, emphasizing tangible outcomes like building infrastructure and improving social services over ceremonial formalities. 36. Empower local governance. Law, decentralized power is stronger and more resilient. Empower local communities to govern themselves. Strategy, distribute authority to local leaders and institutions, ensuring that power is not concentrated in one place. Sankara's lesson, the creation of the CDRs allowed local communities to take control of their own governance, reducing the centralization of power and making the government more responsive to the people's needs. 37. Promote economic fairness. Law, an economy that only benefits the few is inherently unstable. Ensure that wealth is distributed fairly. Strategy, implement economic policies that promote equality and prevent the concentration of wealth in the hands of a few. Sankara's lesson, Sankara's economic reforms, including land redistribution and the nationalization of key industries, aimed to reduce inequality and ensure that the benefits of economic growth were shared by all. 38. Prioritize collective knowledge over individual genius. Law, the wisdom of the many is greater than the brilliance of the few. Rely on collective knowledge and decision-making. Strategy, involve as many people as possible in the decision-making process. Tap into the collective intelligence of your community. Sankara's lesson, Sankara valued collective action and wisdom, involving the masses in decision-making processes through initiatives like the CDRs, ensuring that the revolution was driven by the people, not just a select few. 39. Respect the role of tradition, while embracing change. Law, tradition provides stability, but it should not be an obstacle to progress. Respect it, but do not be bound by it. Strategy, use tradition as a foundation, but do not hesitate to reform it if it conflicts with your goals. Sankara's lesson, Sankara respected African traditions but also pushed for progressive changes, such as banning harmful practices like female genital mutilation and promoting women's rights. 40. Lead with compassion. Law, power must be guided by a deep concern for the well-being of others. Compassion builds loyalty and trust. Strategy, let compassion guide your actions. Ensure that your policies and decisions are aimed at improving the lives of those you lead. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's focus on improving education, healthcare, and social welfare demonstrated his deep compassion for the people of Burkina Faso, earning him their loyalty and respect. 41. Foster international solidarity. Law, power is amplified when it is connected with like-minded forces around the world. Build international alliances based on shared goals. Strategy, extend your influence by forging alliances with other movements and nations that share your vision. Sankara's lesson. Sankara extended his support to liberation movements globally, seeing Burkina Faso's revolution as part of a larger international struggle for justice and freedom. 42. Invest in health and well-being. Law, the health of the people is the health of the nation. Prioritize public health to ensure a strong, productive populace. Strategy, implement public health initiatives that improve the well-being of your people, making them stronger and more resilient. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's government launched successful vaccination campaigns and built healthcare facilities, dramatically improving public health in Burkina Faso. 43. Balance ideals with pragmatism. Law, ideals inspire, but practicality achieves. Marry your vision with pragmatic steps to turn dreams into reality. Strategy, ground your ideals in achievable goals. Use practical strategies to bring your vision to life. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's combination of revolutionary ideals with practical policies, such as improving infrastructure and promoting agricultural development, ensured that his vision was not just aspirational, but achievable. 44. Always act with integrity. Law, integrity is the foundation of lasting power. Without it, you will eventually crumble. Strategy, maintain the highest ethical standards in all your actions. Let your integrity be your guiding star. Sankara's lesson. Sankara's reputation for honesty and incorruptibility was central to his leadership, earning him the trust and admiration of his people, and establishing a moral authority that endured beyond his life. 45. Resist co-optation by the powerful. Law, the powerful will always seek to co-opt and manipulate those who challenge them. Stay true to your mission and avoid their traps. Strategy, stay vigilant against attempts to co-opt your movement. Remain independent and focused on your original goals. Sankara's lesson. Sankara resisted co-optation by both domestic elites and foreign powers, maintaining an unwavering commitment to his revolutionary principles and refusing to be swayed by offers of wealth or influence. 46. Educate the masses. Law, an educated populace is a powerful one. Knowledge is the greatest tool for liberation. Strategy, focus on education as a means of empowerment. Make it accessible to all. Sankara's lesson. Sankara launched literacy campaigns and built schools throughout Burkina Faso, believing that an educated populace was essential to the success of the revolution and the nation's future. 47. Practice resilience. Law, power is not just about winning. It is about enduring. Resilience is the key to lasting success. Strategy, develop the mental and emotional fortitude to withstand setbacks and challenges. Never give up on your goals. Sankara's lesson. Despite facing numerous challenges and threats, Sankara remained resilient, continuing to push forward with his revolutionary agenda even in the face of overwhelming opposition. 48. Leave a legacy of empowerment. Law, the true measure of power is not what you achieve for yourself, but what you leave behind for others. Create a legacy that empowers future generations. Strategy, focus on building structures and systems that will endure beyond your time. Ensure that your impact is lasting and positive. Sankara's lesson. Even after his assassination, Sankara's ideas and legacy continue to inspire movements for social justice and liberation, demonstrating the enduring power of his vision and the strength of the foundations he built. Conclusion. Thomas Sankara's life and leadership offer a blueprint for those who seek to wield power with integrity, vision, and resilience. His 48 laws of revolutionary power are not just strategies for political leaders, but principles that can be applied by anyone striving to create a more just and equitable world. By embodying these laws, you too can harness the power to transform not just your own life, but the lives of those around you.